And yes, this is recording now. So this is going to be episode 2 of Higanbana no Saku Yoru Yoruni, rather. Now, I will start with the content warning. I didn't start the first one with the content warning, but whatever. We've actually got an audience this time. This game goes in some places. There is talk of bullying, assault, perhaps of a sexual variety. There are definitely themes of unhealthy relationships, suicide, and in all negativity, basically. Just if any of these things upset you, get lost, please, because I don't want to be any sort of I don't want to make things worse. Just if you're not into any of that stuff, just leave right now and make things easier for all of us. I know it's your type. It's kind of my type as well. I enjoy these sort of stories. Well, I enjoy Ryukishi's stories. He's the author behind Higurashi no Nakukoroni, Umineko no Nakukoroni, Kikonia, and I can't remember the rest of the title. It's probably the same. And this one, Higanbana. Each one of his stories has elements which he has taken from his previous work as a social worker. So there's an element of reality in each story, which will crawl under the skin of people who may be sensitive to certain topics. He is known. Well, he's going to be doing the new Silent Hill game. It was announced at, was it E3 or whatever the fuck it was? While we're just waiting for Ash. Yeah, he'll be doing the new Silent Hill game. So I'm actually very interested in seeing that. Yeah, new Silent Hill game. New Silent Hill game by Konami, and the author they got, instead of Hideo Kojima, is Ryukishi07. Which is not a bad shout. That's actually a really good choice for an author. For an author / writer / producer for a new Silent Hill game. It's set in Japan, so a lot of people are like, but it's not my Silent Hill. Silent Hill's an American town. And while that may be true, like, I feel that if you're going to get an author to write a story like Silent Hill, which is usually based on people's hidden feelings and sometimes the machinations of a secret society in a town. You're breathing hard. He's probably the right author to get for it, because he's shown he's shown some aptitude in that field before. I'm not gonna say he's a perfect author. There's a lot of fucking stilted English in this, but if he's given a good editor to help him and a decent localizer, it should be good. It should be very good.
How's my breathing now?
Better. Yeah, I was just going over the motions of Ryukishi07 and his previous works. I've given my content warning, so if you're, again, just to summarize, if you're of a sensitive disposition, this may not be for you.
So Loopy said my type.
Yes.
Wait, new Silent Hill game. Have you gone through this?
I was talking about the new Silent Hill game. That Ryukishi07 is the author / producer / concept.
Because they're like, why are they Konami? Why are they doing game dev again? Gonna fuck it up.
Oh, why are they doing game dev again? Who knows? It's Konami. Maybe they ran out of money.
No, I know why.
Yeah,
they're fucking running out of money, or they want more money, and they're like, we've got these amazing IPs. Let's flog a dead horse.
Do you know what? It could also be. It could also be that they're, if they don't use an IP enough,
they lose it.
They lose it.
I've heard this. Yeah. That's why you get.
But that's generally if you've licensed something. If they're the owner, I don't see why they would lose it, unless they don't want it to become public domain or something. But Silent Hill hasn't been absent long enough for that.
Yeah, I think it has to exist for a certain amount of time before it becomes public domain.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's not been there, if you know what I mean, or if there's big gaps. It just has to have existed. So, like, Disney lobby the American government, do all sorts of weird shit to keep the Disney character of, like, definitely Mickey Mouse and them lot like away from public domain, even though they're more than 100 years old and should be public domain now, but they would lose all their fucking licensing rights for those characters, and it'd be a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Look at that, big companies fucking bypassing the rules. But
Whatever.
probably didn't, but that's in a long time. Yeah. Konami, fuck Konami is gonna. But this the Silent Hill F sounds interesting.
That's it. Silent Hill F.
But
For
Konami's
fuck Konami.
But Konami are gonna fucking get in the way.
We'll see how they get in the way. There's real potential when you have an author like Rikishi on it.
It's a good choice. It seems good, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
As you should be. Yes.
Because the older I get,
you got a fucking can of drink. Oh damn it!
Mate,
I'm gonna need that later because I know I'm gonna be stumbling over awkward sentences and dodgy translations. But anyway, before any of that, let's get into the glossary.
I've got myself an iron brew.
Oh, I need to lower the game volume as well. Give me a sec, because this game
it sounds okay to me.
It does sound okay, actually. I just remember it being loud the first time I did it. Yeah, it's still okay. I'll just lower it slightly as well. There we go.
That sounds same loudness to me. So.
I lowered it by 10. But okay.
Yeah, I mean, as long it's fine to me, so it's all good.
Okay, so let's go through the translations here. Meso is the sound of someone sobbing. These are things which will be important, actually. Usually after losing their self-respect or from having low self-esteem. That's very specific.
Yeah, oddly specific.
Often the head hangs limply as the person cries.
Okay.
In Higanbana no Saku Yoru ni, Mesomeso is given the Japanese honorific suffix san, Mesomeso-san, which is often comparable to the English Mr., Mrs., or Miss. Others include chan, a childish suffix, kun, a slightly masculine suffix that can also be used by teachers on students regardless of gender, and sama, a suffix denoting respect.
Imagine someone calling me Ash Manix-kun. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Alright, I'm just going to keep going through this. I feel like I should have read the Seven Mysteries one before, but here we are. Yōkai, where the mischievous, malicious yōkai, are supernatural demons, ghosts, and monsters from Japanese folklore and horror stories. The term yōkai covers a wide range of beings, from ghosts disguised as beautiful women to colossal centipedes. The most common yōkai are tengu, which are long-nosed demons, oni, or ogres, kappa, which are humanoid turtles, and kitsune, which are fox spirits. Is Hideo Kojima a kitsune? Anyway, although some yokai can be beneficial like rain spirits, generally they exist to cause humans misery, either through trickery or fear.
Wait, see the arrow thing? Is there more to this, or is that it for that page? All right, no, it's that.
It's going to be more over here.
Okay.
The Seven Mysteries is specific to this story. So the Seven Mysteries is a Japanese concept birthed from the... Oh, okay, interesting. The importance of the number 7, e.g. 7 days in a week, 7 wonders in the world, 7 deadly sins. This concept became... Oh, okay, so it's actually something outside of this story. This concept became popular in the Edo period of Japanese history, which is 16 to 1868. 1600, 1868. With tales of unexplained phenomena that turned into urban legends. These tales usually took place in a single area and comprised of seven phenomena. For example, the 7 mysteries of Suwa Shrine. I don't know what that is. This trend became popular in Japanese schools, and 7 school mysteries is a popular concept that has been explored in TV dramas, anime, and manga.
Did they just give us the like info that Ryukishi used to create this?
Maybe. I mean, This is a fan translation as well, so yeah. Right. So as a recap, the main girl we were I was doing the narration of is Marie Moria, a bullied girl in school. She sucks, basically. Her home life sucks as well.
Her life sucks.
Her life sucks.
I believe that her sin is being timid.
Maybe. I don't think that's a sin, but, you know, she's timid and she gets taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Her teacher prevented bullies from bullying her, and then taking advantage of her feelings of gratitude, he started to molest her in a school bathroom.
So when I say her sin... That's where the story
starts. That's where the story starts, right? The teacher is molesting her, and then he's like, you know, super happy with himself. Some student apparently heard her crying afterwards and came up with the yokai stories like, oh, that's Mesomeso-san. Mesomeso being the onomatopoeia for crying, as was explained. And then this, the teacher overheard the story of Mesomeso-san, and he's like, fuck, people know. I need to kill her before anyone finds out. He goes to the bathroom. Oh, wait, hang on. I need to go back a bit. Before they go to the next bathroom sort of appointment, Marie is visited by the spirit of Higanbana, which is a yōkai that exists at the school. She looks like a girl with a red dress. And she says to her, you could become Mesomeso-san. So, yeah. And then that gave Marie a little bit of courage. She talked to Sensei. She's like, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, she didn't say it explicitly. She implied it. And he knew. He knew. And he killed her. He killed her. And after he killed her, some students came to the bathroom and thinking, oh, Mesomeso-san is here. They knocked on the bathroom door and he's like, fuck. So he pretended to be Mesomeso-san. They ran away scared. And he's like, yes, I've become Mesomeso-san. Then when everyone left the school, he dumped her body in a septic tank under an old school toilet. I'm sorry, it's depressing material, but it is.
No, I'm not. I'm not thinking of you. But
Yeah.
when I say that her sin was to be timid, I mean, I don't mean it literally. I mean, that seems to be regarded as a sin in this thing. That's how she's got bullied and stuff.
I don't
like
think
that.
it's regarded as a sin. The sinful one was the one that is the teacher. Like it was saying, this man is terrible.
Yeah,
and she's pitiful.
yeah, it was. Yes, I'm saying it. I don't know. Do you know? It's like my sin was being normal. Like I said, I don't know, ironic. It's the thing where she's not done anything wrong, but she's
Yeah, well, I think the game does. I think the game does take the opinion that she's done nothing wrong. Anyway, she's dead now, so we see her ghost crying. Her ghost is crying by the toilet, like, "Oh fuck, I'm dead," and he was just laughing at me. Higanbana comes and says, "There's a problem." Now he believes himself to be Mesomeso-san, so now there's two candidates to become Mesomeso-san.
Not only has he killed her, but he is also jeopardizing her afterlife.
Afterlife as a yōkai.
Because he's a complete bastard. But
part is inadvertent, but yes.
Loopy has said, what the fuck, I expected messed up, but not that type of messed up. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. He deals in topics which are strangely real and can really crawl under your skin.
So I'll just say that I do like the choice of spider lilies and this little opening.
The same flowers from Licorice Recoil as well. The spider
so
lilies.
I haven't watched that, but the first time I really noticed this was in Promised Neverland.
Oh, okay.
Like these have featured in a lot of anime, and I've never thought about them.
I have never seen these flowers before.
So Promised Neverland really featured them prominent. They're they're a lot more red than these ones here. These are more pinkish, but they tend to be red. And it symbolizes death and some sort of rebirth and stuff like that, which is why it's used where it's used in anime and stuff. Garlic Bread X said, spooky flowers. Loopy said, I mean, I'm not into this in an excited way anymore, but I'm curious about this.
See, when it gets you, and I've just put this back into full screen, when it gets you, then I know it's fucked up in the right ways.
I will say that, see, when you change the screen size,
I know,
flickers
it does
your
a little
desktop.
flicker thing, yeah. Those flowers appear as death or something. Yeah, they're associated with that.
Yes, death and rebirth, but mainly death.
Without further ado, let's get in. Wait, do I have to... Oh, yes, thank God. For a second, I thought the fucking game was going to make me start from the beginning again.
Wow, that would be harsh.
Okay, let's see. Where I am is after the teacher has killed Marie. It's the next day. Police... No, it's more than the next day. It's been a few days later. The police are investigating, but they have no leads. He feels he's gotten away with it.
He hurt himself as well and went to the nurse's office.
Something happened. He injured himself at some point.
He tripped over something
and the
hurt
nurse,
his elbow.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, you should see the school nurse. So he's like, all right, let's go to the school nurse.
But I think the nurse said that to him.
I don't remember exactly.
There was a sexy character, a sexy nurse person.
Fucking God, if this wasn't such... Like, if I could actually scroll back and see the pictures and who was there, that would be helpful. This is not that helpful. Kanamori is the teacher, by the way. Kanamori is the teacher. Yeah,
I do find it interesting, and I found it to be... It felt realistic that how he rationalizes his actions.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, it's fine. Oh, do you know what? I deserve this. It's only one person, but it feels so good to
Do you know
have
what?
power over a person."
I'm actually going to go over that because I saw that was here somewhere. Your elbow inside of the infirmary. This is the teacher's internal monologue. Before I knew there was something greater than being human, in those times I always felt looked down upon by those around me. Not wanting to be looked down upon and wanting to look down on others, in those times I bottled up my aggression against them. Oh, fucking stilted translation. And by looking down on Marie, I finally felt as if I had relieved myself from that complex. I didn't think I wanted to be a killer, but if this purge didn't free me from my complex, for the rest of my life, how long would I have to live in despair? I thought about it. As for how long I could go on living if I suppose Marie's life was ended for someone else's amusement, I thought it would be natural for them to go on living seeking new ventures in life. Like the different links in the food chain, I was the predator, Marie was the prey. That's all there was to it. So you can
This,
see what kind of scumbag he is.
but this type of rationalization feels very
Real.
real.
Yeah.
It's like when you, I watched, the serial killers and killer documentaries, and when they interview the ones that they have like alive, and if they catch them alive, and they ask them these questions,
They come up with this sort of
the,
thing. Yeah.
it's like how they rationalize doing such horrible things, and it's really unnerving.
If I didn't eat her, then in the future she'd be eaten by someone else. And so
Mm,
I ate her early on and in a deeply compassionate way, reset
it's
her
okay.
existence. Although even in her next life, she'll probably be eaten again. That girl is just that hard to teach after all. See,
That last
yeah,
bit really pissed me off.
and that's the last line I left it on, I think. So let's carry on.
Ye-
I'm going to see where this goes now. I'm very interested to see where this story goes.
Lupia said it reminds them of Albert Fish.
In
I don't
some
know
way.
that.
I don't know who Albert Fish is, but I'm going to carry on. While I was immersed in my fantasies, I had a somewhat large band-aid put on and ended my treatment. When I mentioned my thanks and stood up to leave, ting, 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 tink, what? I think it's the bell. A small series of sounds reached my ears. So that's the school nurse. Something the matter.
Yes.
And this is the teacher. He looks like a fucking prick, doesn't he? No, I heard something just now. As if something fell over. Hanamori saw a small white thing had fallen on the floor and picked it up.
Was it a button?
It was made of plastic or something and looked like a small button. Oh, yes. So one thing is he remembered, sorry, at the time he realized that there was a button on each of Marie's sleeves and one of them was missing. So I think this might
Yes.
be that button. Even saying it was a button, it wasn't even a millimeter in diameter, but he understood it must have been an accessory for something. But when he turned his thoughts as to what it might have fallen from, he looked up above the medicine cabinets. I'm sorry, there's just something about the fucking translation in this that really makes me bite my tongue sometimes. It's a lot of awkward grammar. He looked up
Yeah.
above the medicine cabinets and he understood what it was. That was something particularly out of place in this infirmary. A Western doll. That might be Higanbana. It couldn't hide its worn-out state from its degradation over time, but there was no doubt it certainly wasn't something cheap. I compared the shape of the object I had just picked up with the doll many times, and I sensed it was certainly a button from this doll's clothes. This doll's button probably fell off. I can't take this seriously as a school nurse. She looks like a biker.
It's the shadowing on her a nurse's outfit. Loopy, I made the mistake of googling Albert Fish. Yeah, I started seeing the results and went no. Um, this like the sound effects and all that are all straight out of Umineko.
Higurashi, Umineko, yeah, they all use these same sound effects and styling.
His smug face
Oh?
absolutely pisses me
Is
off.
that so? Yeah. I'll have to sew that back on after you leave. Because they say this child is the master of this infirmary after all. Yeah, it's one of these yōkai stories, isn't it? Oh, that's definitely
Ooh.
Higanbana.
That's also definitely creepy as fuck.
Master? This cute doll? Kanamori stood on his toes and took down the doll that sat atop the medicine cabinets looking down on them. That doll was uniquely Western, and it had a vaguely cold air to it. Kanamori had politely called the doll cute, but in his mind he thought of how it wasn't cute, but eerie. Yeah, but I've also heard about it from the former nurse, you see. She said this doll was here long before she started working, and it had been watching over the infirmary just like it is now. How absurd. Isn't it something some student lost? Well, I wouldn't think there's a student who would bring such a splendid doll and simply forget about it. Yeah, it must be expensive, right?
Yeah, it sounds it.
Oh, that's right. They say this doll is a cursed doll. And the students are afraid of it, you see. So is this one of the school's 7 mysteries? Now that I think of it, the doll in the infirmary dances in the middle of the night. Also, I've heard from one of the students. I see, so they were talking about this doll, eh? Long ago, a doll that belonged to a girl who died in this infirmary took her spirit and became a yōkai or some such. Or some such thing.
This is a very superstitious school.
Yeah.
Like, I get having 1 or 2 main things, but they seem to have one for everything.
So here's the thing, right? They haven't specified a time period for the story, but I get a distinct feeling that this is set in a similar time period to the original Higurashi, 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
There's a certain lack of technology right now.
No mobiles, especially.
No phones, no mobiles, that sort of thing, yeah. So I'm willing to bet that it's also in the country. They haven't said where this school is. Maybe not in the country. Maybe it's like on the suburbs of a city or something, but it seems a little out of the way. Oh, that's right. I don't know who named that doll, but sure enough, it has a name. They say it's called Higanbana.
Yep, called it. You called it.
That's the name of the doll. That's the name of the yōkai. That's the name of this game. It might be significant. Higanbana. It's not a particularly fortunate name, is it? Indeed, it just might suit this strange doll perfectly. However, isn't it wrong to be scaring the students by keeping that kind of doll there as a decoration? Well, there's also talk of a curse put on those who throw the doll away. It's not that I believe in curses, but I totally believe in curses. But since it's been watching over students in this infirmary for a long, long time, I'd feel kind of bad, you know?
Okay.
She sits there making sure the injuries of the students who come here don't get worse. And she protects them. Somehow I doubt that. Oh, is that so? But where does this button go, I wonder? Ah, here. I'll sew it on later. See, it's her right sleeve button.
What a coincidence.
Right sleeve button? Those were casual words. But it was something Kanamori... Here's another thing with Rikishi. He fucking changes between voices so often. First person, third person.
It's fine if you had like the newer style things where you show the person who's talking.
If you had adventure style, yeah, instead of this old style visual novel, yeah.
I think that it's
it
a
gets
problem
confusing.
just because it's old. Yeah.
It's not old, it's the engine. It's just...
I say old style, but it's like these original games. Umineko, I believe, is the same.
It's the same way, yeah.
It's the same way, and Higurashi. There's like an old version and then the new version where they had like speech boxes.
So Kikonia keeps this sort of style, but modernizes it to make it better. And it has the sprites in the same sort of way, but it's widescreen and it has the name of the person who's talking. So yeah.
Lupi said, I thought that was normal. There was a VN I tried to translate, which did the same too, changing from first to third. Yeah, it happens a lot, but in this format where it doesn't say who's talking, you can't.
I personally do not like it when people change the voice that much because it just becomes inconsistent.
See if you change the coloring of the text, even to like white is always third person.
Oh, narrator. He does that in Kikonia. He does colored text at some points. I seem to remember something like that. Yeah.
Because that would make it easier. Then you can see that that's third person and the rest are like people talking. But
yeah. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. It was something Kanamori wanted to forget, and yet could not. Bits and pieces from his disposed memory began to stir. Yes. A regret from that night he disposed of Marie's corpse. It was an uncomfortable feeling. Just before disposing of Marie's body, when shining a light on the body to make sure nothing was missing, he certainly saw Marie's right sleeve had been torn. That night, his attention was invariably divided, and so he didn't see how a single button mattered. He ignored it. But even so, it still left him with a bad feeling. That memory revived in his mind with a yelp, as if a small rock had gotten inside his sock. Oh, that's terrible. This doll's torn off button. If it hadn't been the right sleeve, he wouldn't have noticed anything. Even so, it had to be the right sleeve's button. The same one as the one torn from Marie's clothes. Her right sleeve button! At that... I want to know where this doll came from, this picture. At that moment, Kanamori felt as if the eerie Western doll named Higanbana was sneering at him. Because she totally is. What a foolish man. There are only two things that can evaporate or disappear from this world. Know what they are? Huh? Well, what are you talking about? The preconception that there was no way a doll could talk to me blurred with that question. The things that disappear. Water and grateful souls. Just those two. That's weird. Okay. Yeah. She laughed at her own joke sarcastically. But the doll quickly froze her laughter and continued. Are you looking for Marie's right sleeve button? What is that button made of? Water? Grateful souls? There's no way a button could be made of water. There's no way a button could be made of water or souls. Have you tried hard enough?
What is this conversation?
If it were top quality, it might have been made from shells. Or if it was a cheap, then it might be plastic at best.
Jeez, man.
Right. It's made of things that aren't water or souls. So there's no way it can disappear from this world. It can't dissolve or evaporate. So it must still be where it was dropped, right? It'll be where it was dropped, always. Until it's found by someone. It will be there forever, won't it? Higurashi and Umineko characters are known for their fucking manic laughs. Or screams. Thank you, Higanbana. The meaning of those words began to pain me. Here we are back in first person. It was an inconvenience that most people would have wanted to quickly forget. And until today, I had forgotten it. That bad feeling I had about Marie's button. But no matter how I wanted to forget about it, the button itself wouldn't disappear. It was surely there, even now, where it dropped. And until someone picks it up, it's waiting there even now. That's right. I mustn't forget about that button that came off her right sleeve. There was no way the button was torn off from the beginning. If she were a crude boy, she wouldn't care at all about the single button torn from her clothes. But she was a girl.
Ugh, I don't like these fucking stereotypes.
Like I said, first of all, it's a Japanese game. Second of all, I think it's set in the past.
Also, I joke.
Yeah.
But still.
But she was a girl. If a button was torn off, she would certainly put it back on again. Even Marie was the methodical type. She wouldn't go through her daily routine with a button missing from her right sleeve. I have done that.
That's what he's saying. A guy's less
Yeah.
thingy about their how they're kept, whereas girls aren't. They're more careful. It's interesting how he's like she's the methodical type. It seems that he knows her.
He did spend some time with her.
But you could
Not
also
good
say that
time, but yeah.
he made judgments. He was able to judge her character well to know that he could get away with manipulating her.
Definitely, he didn't choose her at random. So that
which this shows. I think.
Yeah. So that button must have been torn off on that day. Oh, the sound effect. Kanamori Sensei, is something the matter? What?
All of these sound effects, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might say it was made by the same guy.
What? Never.
He's just got the same file, the same like files on his computer. It's like, I'll just use it again. I don't give a shit.
It works.
No. Yeah, because he's well known for doing the sound design of these novels. Thank you very much. I just remembered I have some business to take care of. Sorry, now if you'll excuse me. Oh god, these filters. Already the foundation for my mental state and sense of security were gone. If I continue aimlessly like this, sometime someone will find that button. Because the police have long known about the clothes Marie wore the day she disappeared. If by chance it winds up in their hands, they'll probably realize it belongs to Marie's clothing. What the hell am I doing being so carefree and letting this critical situation go? And where did that button fall off?
Probably in the toilet.
Where I strangled her. That place. The old school building's bathroom. In that stall. No, and yet when I left there, I was sure I didn't leave any traces behind. But that was when I was in a hurry and only looked with a glance. I don't think I cared that much if a grain-like fallen button escaped my sight.
Did it potentially fall down the toilet? Also, I can see your mouse at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, it's just my OCD.
Mate, I can't do anything about it. Look.
Oh, is it just like constantly there?
Yeah,
lovely.
look. They'll always be there. They'll always be there, triggering your OCD like a bad itch.
Fair enough.
I'm sure of it. It's there. This mouse. It's in there. In order to not be seen by anyone when I entered the old school building and stay there until I could be completely satisfied, all I could do was hold back my impatient mind and wait. In the infirmary, the nurse was still finishing up the day's work. Then she felt as if she heard a girl's laughter. Thinking there might still be students at school, she turned around, and the Western doll quietly sitting atop the medicine cabinets caught her eye. Obviously, there was no way Higanbana could laugh. She was a doll after all. The nurse might have been a little tired. She thought after going home today, she would quickly get to bed. I like this. Which one is the better, Mesomeso-san? That'll be a sight, won't it? Waiting until a vote is boring. Don't you think it would be better if the two involved decided it themselves? Oh, I must be tired. I think I'll call it a day and head out. Higanbana... Fucking tongue-tied again. Higanbana giggled as she imagined that was what was beginning to unfold from this point forward. Of course, it was impossible for that voice to reach the nurse's ears. Now then, Marie Kanamori, please show me who is more fitting, because everyone in our class are also hoping for something more interesting than a vote. Yes. I do like this. She's just gonna go meddle with some shit.
She's gonna be a pain in the arse. Lupia said it's not, the mouse is not there for them when you put the mouse down out of the screen, apparently.
Yes, but it's not annoying you. It's annoying him.
Yes.
Are you staying here, Kanamori-sensei? It won't be long until tomorrow, you know. Thank you very much, Vice Principal. Oh, for fuck's sake. I haven't got a voice for the Vice Principal yet. Thank you very much, Vice Principal. I'm almost done here, so please let me stay here a bit longer.
Is the Vice Principal a woman? I can't forget.
It's a man.
Okay.
I understand. But please start finishing up. Because if you get too many overtime hours, we might even get a complaint from the Union Executive Office. Well, I apologize, but I'm going to have... No. Well, I apologize, but I'm going to have to excuse myself for the day. Since I think you will be the last one out, please set up the security system. Also, if it's not on by 11 o'clock, the security company will come check on it if you don't call them. Be really careful, please.
I like this bullshit security system where all it does is you have the last person who goes out sets it up, but there's no cameras or anything. I don't even know what it does.
I think it's just like an alarm at the gate or something.
Yeah, that's all it is, and it doesn't even record who sets it because you just set it, and it's very convenient.
Because he made a point that there was no security guards, just a system.
Yep, and that it's shit. It doesn't check who comes in or out.
And he said it's not like a CCTV system where you got like cameras everywhere. It's nothing like that. That's all he said. So to me, it's like maybe an electronic gate or something. That's it.
Yeah, it's just the alarm, house alarm or whatever.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I had forgotten about that. although I hadn't planned on taking that long to check the bathroom. But if I end up bumping heads with the security company, there'll be all kinds of trouble.
And a record that they had to send people out.
Listen to this music. Like Terminator.
Yes. I know, what the hell?
Tonight, Kanamori had been more discreet than ever before. Even more discreet than the day he killed Marie. Holy shit, it's a remix of the school bell.
Yeah, it's so weird. And sorry?
Yeah. After seeing the vice principal cross the campus with his own eyes, heeding the vice principal's advice, he called the security company to let them know he'd be working late that night. I'm just blown away by this music.
Mate, what is happening?
It just keeps going. This is perfect. Now this time as well. With no one else except himself in this school late at night, no one would pay him a visit. So he left the staff room, and before heading to the old school building, he hid himself and watched to see if anyone was lurking in the school. Naturally, no sounds caught his attention. Only the cries of insects infested the old building. When he allowed himself a breath, it sounded as loud as a storm in his ears. So does the soundtrack. Outside the window was pure darkness. Because inside he had a light. Outside of the glass in the hallway wasn't darkness. But the interior of the hallway reflected itself back again like a mirror. So immediately after seeing that, he could see himself being reflected. Inside that massive school building, he was alone. In the day the school bustles with many students and teachers, doubtlessly it was forming its own society. But that world was a different world separated from this world. It might even be said that the school occupied a different dimension. In that dimension, now he was alone. Oh boy. Time for him to go off on one. Society is order made by the many. And without numbers, when there's only one, it is a society no more. In other words, at this moment, in this separate school dimension, freed from the morals of so-called society, the world was his alone. If he ran in the halls during the day, he'd be scolded by his pupils. And if the vice principal saw him, he'd probably be made example of in front of the students. Because no running in the halls is one of those rules of society. However, this school in the depth of night has now been set free from that society.
We live in a society.
I know. I've been thinking about that the whole fucking time. I've just imagined him with like the clown makeup for the Joker. In other words, the rules created by society can no longer reach him. After all, this is a world where he alone exists. And even if he ran ahead at full speed, there wasn't anyone to worry about. Even in this moment, he was the lord of this world.
You know, this is so over the top for just saying, no one's here, I can run about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, here we go. He had transcended his insignificant existence as a single man in the larger society. Oh, here we go. The more he thought about it, the more his impatience about quickly finding Marie's button began to dissipate. He began to feel surprised at how frustrated and impatient he was moments ago. If he had horns, if he had wings, then now more than ever he lengthened and grew them, unfolded and extended them. It had started as a laugh only in his mind, but then he realized even if that laugh escaped his mouth, in this world no one else could hear it. If a bear shits in the wood. And so Kanamori, in an insanely wicked voice from the depths of his soul, howled with laughter as he headed to the former school building.
This dude is just like, I'm the god of this world.
Can you imagine if someone saw him just laughing his head off as he walked to the building?
This dude is fucking... Oh, he's crazy, clearly.
Well, something took his confidence away. However, the moment he stepped foot into the old school building, his demonic confidence retreated. It was replaced with a discretion as if his ruthlessness had frozen in ice. It even froze his inner demon. If he turned the lights on in the old school building, he might be seen by someone in the neighborhood. And so, without turning on the lights, he illuminated his path with a thin glow of a flashlight. Thank you. The frail
Lupia
light...
said,
Huh?
I'd be creeped out as hell, I think, if they saw
If
someone running around.
Someone laughing. To be fair, it's the dead of night as well. And at nighttime, things are just 10 times creepier by default.
Yeah.
The frail light illuminated the world of pure darkness. But like an illusion, the length of that hallway seemed to continue all the way into the horizon. And from the inside, all the doors had been closed and locked with the utmost care. Bullshit. No one would do that.
Closed and locked with the utmost care. It's an abandoned building, though.
It's a fucking school, right? It'll be locked, but not with the utmost care. It'll be some janitor who's not paid enough. And with this, he had completely severed himself from the world. He was torn and isolated from that school world. In other words, he was in a second world, divided far away from the human world. If you've gone this far from the human world, you'll get closer to the spirit world, won't you? Was that Higanbana?
It was not him, I can tell you that.
Yeah, if you've gone this far from the human world, you'll get closer to the spirit world, won't you? And then she laughed. He felt as if he heard the voice of the doll whose button fell in the infirmary again. Of course, there was no way a doll could talk, so it was impossible for something that foolish to really happen. Oh, you foolish man. And yet, this world of the former school building and the human world where dolls couldn't speak were two vastly different places. Maybe, here in this old school, lies a world where even dolls can talk? That's a weird way of putting it.
Oh, that sound effect.
That's absurd. He wanted to laugh, and after he dared let it pass his mouth, he felt as if the power he had earlier had been cast aside like a lie. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying watching him lose his confidence and self-esteem in this.
I've just had a thought, right? Or I've been thinking about this for a little bit. Do you know how in Umineko, things could be taken from two perspectives? Either it's like imagination, stuff is real, there's no witches, there's no magic, right? And there's like an explanation for everything. Or it's all magic and it's witches controlling stuff and all that stuff, right? And there's these two arguments of what is this real? Is this not magic and just like trickery, or is it magic? I feel like here it's not like an argument of one or the other, but you can interpret this as, yes, there's magical yokai, or this could be our main man here descending into insanity, and this is what he is thinking and perceiving now.
But the thing is, magic is real in the world of Umineko. It's just that it... Okay, I'm not going to talk anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be real to a degree because like all these other people are there, and it's like there is a thing. But like, you know how here, because this is not in... I mean, I don't think this is like Umineko in the same universe necessarily. I don't know how this works, but you could interpret this as him just like going insane and imagining all of this.
So Kikonia gives hints. Kikonia and the new Higurashi TV series give hints as to how the universes work. I believe they're nested in certain ways. That's my theory. Carrying on. I'm going to carry on because there's way too much that I could talk about that, and there's way too many spoilers I can go into. The biggest one is from Kikonia itself, because that one gives a big sort of hint as to what could be happening.
Oh shit, I need to play that, and I need to watch the second season of the newer Higurashi. I didn't watch that.
Well, the second season is the one that's not very good. The first season of it was pretty good. Loopy here says, boo, new Higurashi sucks. I wouldn't go that far, but I didn't like the second season. It was just boring, and after how exciting the first season was, it's just a letdown.
Do you learn anything important in it?
Most of it's a retread.
Ooh. Oh well.
It was something ingrained in his mind since childhood. He remembered and founded rumors regarding the strange world of the school at night, and now they began to slowly work their effect on his mind. Yeah, this is what you're saying.
Yeah.
He wanted to say how absurd it was again. This time, as he tried to say the words, they were caught like a lump in his throat. He thought saying them might cause him to remember that emotion, horror. So he swallowed them back down. Because the former school building was getting quieter and quieter, his desire to deny that emotion amplified more and more. I have to say, this is actually quite... I'm enjoying the atmosphere of this.
So another thing is, do you know how we're playing this? We've got the pictures that with the filter effects on them.
Yeah.
It is. When I played through Mineko, I used the newer drawings.
The background artworks, yeah.
Background artwork. You could play with the original. With the original in this type of game, it's so much more eerie.
Yeah.
It really, it gives a much better eerie atmosphere. I think it really works.
There might have been a leak in a water pipe somewhere. So that's what that is. That strange sound he hadn't noticed during the day filled the bathroom. He had wanted to run and turn on the lights inside, but he held back his desperation, and he illuminated the area with the thin beam of his flashlight. Perhaps that stall door where I killed Marie is still shut. That place where Marie's sobbing Mesomeso came from. In the world in the daytime, this might have been a laughably cheap ghost story. But in this world, with about as much likelihood as a coin landing on tails, 50%, it held the chance of that horror becoming reality. Even though all he had to do was shine his light on the bathroom stall, he hesitated. Damn it, the hell am I afraid of? Marie's ghost isn't something to be afraid of. It's that fallen button the police might find that's important. And you know what? Nice to see this guy is trying to use logic and reasoning to reprioritize his interests.
But he's also, this is really getting that feeling of it's dark and really scary. Nothing should be there, and all I need to do is switch on the lights. But I'm super afraid to because it's dark and scary. It's really doing a good job.
He's actually got a good reason for there being a ghost there. Fuck, there might be a ghost there. I killed her.
I mean, yeah. She might be pissed.
Yeah.
Fuck.
How stupid. With a shameless grin. Oh, sorry. With a senseless grin, he tried to boost his morale. As he shined his flashlight towards that stall. Oh, there's shit in it. Someone
had shat there, not flushed.
I know. It's a fucking... I don't like those toilets, man. You know, the Asian-style toilets. They're terrible.
Oh, and just that how you use them. Your feet right next to.
No, thank you. Moving on. That's more horrifying than anything else I've seen in this game so far. It was like you thought it would be. Son had left a dookie in there.
Luckily, when I went to Japan, the only time I went to Japan, they all had the.
No, they would have the modern ones, yeah.
Most places had the modern ones. Some places had the Asian style ones.
Oh, actually, do you know?
Floor ones.
To explain, the fact that this toilet is here is that they explained it. They said that this is part of the old building, and they were supposed to get rid of these, but for some reason they just didn't.
Apparently, there's a mix. There's some that have new and some that have old because this place was renovated at some point.
Yeah, that's why I think. Yeah. That's why it gives me the feeling that it's set in the past a bit.
Yeah, that would have been a while ago when they introduced.
Yeah, because
like,
by now they'd have gotten rid of all of these.
Yeah.
It was like he thought it would be. The stall hadn't been closed or anything. Naturally, there wasn't anyone inside. And there wasn't any crying voice sobbing Mesomeso. So that's it. He thought while checking it and sighed in relief. But in doing so, the fears he had restrained seemed as if they were about to resurface once again. He resisted. In any case, he set out to examine the bathroom stall. In the stall was a Japanese-style squat toilet. The moment he saw it, his hair stood on end as he felt the memories of that day resurface in his mind. Once, this stall was an immoral place where I performed countless atrocities with Marie. Even though I remember those long days when I committed those indiscretions, they were all indiscretions. Oh. They were all completely blotted out by my memory of that sole act, that day when I killed Marie. Because the Marie that revived in my mind wasn't the one that stimulated me. It was when she carelessly tumbled to the ground, unaware of her indecency after I strangled her. When I remembered her body, I felt just a slight sense of regret float from the bottom of my heart. But I quickly disposed of it. Because if I allowed myself to entertain such thoughts, I thought all I was doing was acknowledging my own weakness. Take my daily meals, for instance. What the fuck?
This is a bit of a non sequitur.
If I came to regret every single animal or plant I have eaten before, I wouldn't even be able to eat a slice of bread. And that's my attitude towards Marie.
So I get a bit of that logic, but then the massive jump to human life equal animal that I eat. Very nice.
Yeah. We're firmly placed in different levels of the hierarchy. And I'm placed in a higher position than Marie in the pyramid. And that's all there was to it. So things ended up as they should. And I don't need to regret anything. Just like there are no humans who shed tears of sadness from eating bread. Who are you, Dio?
Also, tell that to the judge, mate.
Such stupid thoughts. Anyway, I have to see if that button is here. I felt that if I didn't scald myself, I would be sucked more and more into my delusions. Already, it seemed like the air of this different dimension in the old school started to eat away at me. I had to quickly pull myself out of this strange world, or else I wouldn't be able to return from it.
That's an interesting thing, Loopy. You know, getting what he's saying, but being selfish and valuing other human lives to be useful for the world over the lives. Yeah. Do you know, I agree with that. What?
Garlic Bread X has said, I just came back. What was sad about eating bread?
Yeah, do you know, like, he's just like, do you know, he's trying to make that as
He's trying to
comparison
make
like
yeah.
eating meat, and he's like, I eat bread. What the fuck is bread harming you?
He's likening eating bread to killing Marie.
The rationalization of a murder.
Yeah. I had to quickly pull myself out of this strange world, or else I wouldn't be able to return from it. A sixth sense that had molded since childhood warned me, so I must hurry. But I had to relentlessly and carefully search. You're searching in the darkness, mate. Good luck. I didn't care if it was a toilet stall. I didn't care if I stood in shit. I crawled down on all fours and searched as if I were licking the floor.
Oh, fucking wording, mate. Also, Garlic Bread said breads have feeling too.
On top of that urine Alright, I'm actually starting to feel the grossness now, and it's even getting to me. On top of that urine color stained floor that eternally released its foul odor. I couldn't find the button that fell off Marie. Mate, he took
He's
her.
gonna have to.
He took her to this place to have his way with her.
Yes,
That's disgusting.
And he's now being disgusted by the area.
Yeah.
Also, he's gonna have to put his hand down the hole.
He's like he said, he didn't mind as if he were even licking the floor. Disgusting.
What?
Under normal circumstances, I might have thought that meant it wasn't here. But somehow I was convinced. I had no proof, but I had no doubt. The button was here. It has to be here. It's not on the floor? Did I miss a spot? The moment I strangled Marie to death, the stall door was closed. Now the door was open, so I could crawl around the stall. Maybe there's something on the inside of the door? Or possibly the outside? Even though I thought there was no way the button could be in such a place, I thought that if I didn't recreate the same stall from that day, I wouldn't be able to free myself from my delusions. So I carried out the first task in recreating it. I shut the door from the inside. What the fuck is that emoji, Loopy?
I know.
Because I would naturally swing... God, this music, I swear to you. Because it would naturally swing open if it wasn't locked, I locked the stall door. I caught a quick glimpse of the opposite side of the shut door, but the button hadn't stuck to it or anything like that. Then where is the button? Marie died here. She was killed here. And it was here that she fell. It was then that the button was torn off. Mate, you're making a lot of assumptions.
When he died here, someone killed her. Wasn't me.
I hadn't seen it, but somehow I knew. It must have been then.
What?
I'm thinking he dragged her body across the school to get it to the other toilet, right, where the septic tank is. So it could have come off at that point.
Did he drag her or did he carry her?
Whether he dragged her or carried her, he did move her. It could have come off while he was moving her.
If he carried her, it wouldn't have ripped off. I wonder if it was ripped off before she met him and he's never going to find it.
Like she's not as careful as he thought.
Or she did it on purpose for some reason.
What, like while he was strangling her, she's like, my dying message. Button torn off, thrown away.
No, I mean, you're talking about 80s movies there, which is glorious. But no, I think like before she went to see him, something happened. Probably, maybe not even consciously, and it ripped off something. I just think it's not going to be here, and he's never going to find it, but he's going to keep trying to search. So
I don't know why. I just had a fucking flashback to the Monty Python sketch, Ralph Mellish, because Ralph Mellish, a filing clerk, was walking along the street to his, usual job when out of nowhere goes dinner. Nothing happened. Scarcely able to believe his eyes, and just that kind of manic, like intensity builds. That's what's going on with this guy.
Well, he's just like. What was he saying? It's like, it's dark, but no, he's fucking...
There's a button here somewhere, I must find it. That's what he's doing. Then the flashlight's beam reflected with a flash. Hang on, Loopy says, you think more people had thought processes like him back in the days when you'd have less chance of being caught because of no cameras and stuff? He doesn't want to be caught because the police are looking. The police are investigating this as a missing person. And the button from her cuff, would be distinct enough to say, okay, she's definitely, something's happened to her.
So this is the thing I wanted to ask, right? It is just a button from a cuff, right? It could be anyone's.
Oh, no. He said that it was distinctive.
Like, why is it? But it's part of her uniform. This is the thing I didn't understand.
I think it has a pattern on it that's distinctive or something, but...
And even if they find it, they go, "Oh, she was here."
Yeah,
but it doesn't relate to him. He doesn't get. It's not like they're going to do DNA checks or something.
Yeah, I feel this is before DNA evidence.
And even if they did, I don't think he touched it. Fingerprints, maybe, but I don't know. I don't think he touched it. Maybe they could do fingerprints. Maybe he did touch it. But it's a long stretch, man.
It is a long stretch. Let's see. But he's, like all Ryukishi stories. The best emotion that he brings out in his characters is paranoia. It's true.
I suppose theoretically, if I had done what he'd done, I would be super paranoid about a button.
Do you know what? I think he's right to be paranoid. He's, the police are sniffing around, and though they don't have his scent, he's worried that anything could tip them off. Anything. So.
And you know what? Good that he's suffering.
You want him to suffer?
Yeah, he takes her. So let's just go over the point that he took her to a disgusting old toilet to
have his way.
Do horrible things to her. So not only the environment, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with him, right? Like why would he do that for himself? Does he enjoy it? So this type of environment, and then he unceremoniously kills her, and the way that he disposes of her body is like with no respect whatsoever, even though he acts as if he showed her more respect than most other people. He disposes of her in a septic tank. It is like the most horrible and disrespectful way to treat someone in life and in death. Yeah, so he's basically the absolute scum of the earth in this VN, and it's like
This is just the first story. There's like 8 of them.
Is there?
Yeah, this is a collection of short stories.
Everything that happens to him that's bad. Yeah, and I
Nothing
know
bad
things
has
can get
happened to him. Yeah, he's just
yeah, but
he's-
like
yeah.
just the suffering at this point is making me feel better.
Lippy says relatable. I've been paranoid of police too. I have as well, but mainly when I'm driving. Normally, like, yeah, like you know, you're driving, then you see police, and maybe they'll turn the lights on. And you're like, fuck.
Loopy's hiding from the feds.
Carrying on. The flashlight's beam reflected with a flash. Covering the top of the toilet paper was a silver-colored dispenser. Oh.
Yeah, I've seen loads of them.
This feels like some of the really dodgy toilets in the parks nearby. From its rough use by students, it had been squashed somewhat, but it seemed like it could still fulfill its role in conveniently cutting large sheets of toilet paper. Yeah, you know the toilet paper that feels like paper, not toilet paper?
It feels like fucking sandpaper. It's like the thinnest, shittiest thing, and then
No,
you use it.
I would actually welcome the ones that feel like sandpaper, because the ones I'm thinking of feel like paper that you print on.
Mate, it's like
They're horrible.
the thinnest ass paper, so that when you use it, they
Oh.
got like high probability of like
that
breaking
tearing.
through, the touching shit, and you're just like, so you end up taking shit tons of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Just
Loads
get
of
the
the
whole
paper.
roll, and there you are.
Oh my god, yes.
And above that paper dispenser, there was a pebble that looked like a white teardrop.
Is that a button? I mean, buttons usually.
It's here! This is it! I slowly took it between my thumb and forefinger. There was no mistake. This is it. It's that button. It was the very button that had been torn from Marie's right sleeve. That day, Marie had the life squeezed out of her, and when she was exhausted, those hands of hers that fought against my choking arms dropped with a thump. And then that button somehow caught and tore off on the paper dispenser. That's how the button got here. I found it! I found it! I desperately resisted the urge to howl in laughter. No, you didn't. You laughed right there. I could think about this button as long as I wanted later. There's no need to overthink this. All I need to do is just drop it in the toilet and flush it like so.
Okay.
As the water flushed, the world of silence that had come to greatly haunt me was torn apart by its roaring sound. Wait, Lippy says the descriptiveness is a bit unnatural. Yeah, now you say that.
It's like I didn't feel this with Demoneko Nigurashi.
I felt this with Kikonia. I recognize this writing style. Because it's the same as in Kikonia. It's more natural in Kikonia, but there's still a bit of that stiltedness.
This just feels like it is dark. Oh, I live between two different worlds, and they're the demonic world. I am the king of this world of dark. It's like, what the fuck, man?
He's a crazy person, right? Deluded and with an inflated ego. We know this. And in an instant, it swallowed up the button, and its form had forever disappeared from the world above. You know, stuff like this that makes me think he'll be really good at doing Silent Hill.
Well, he flushed a toilet, and this is how he describes it.
Just as that doll said, because that button can't disappear, it'll probably remain in this world. But no one could find something like a tiny button that fell into the sewer. Mate, you underestimate forensics. That would be harder than finding a bead in a desert. And so, this was the same as sending it into the eternal abyss. Basically, this perfectly erases any trace of the murder I committed.
To be honest, if this is set back in the past, he's probably mostly right. Forensics weren't that.
Well, even if forensics were searching, there's no reason to suspect a button, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
I only felt this way reading weird 4chan posts. Yeah, but they're designed to be weird as well.
I mean, this is designed to be weird.
Yeah. I felt the unease from that day that remained in my mind slowly clear away. And as the roaring, flushing sound that had torn the silence began to slowly quiet down, I began to rise to where I was once before. I once again began to take my place as a being that surpassed humans.
I want you to picture this.
The man flushed a button down the toilet and then started cheering. Like, yeah!
He's just flushed it with, I am the god of this world.
You know what? I'm reminded of Death Note because, you know, Light Yagami did a lot of bullshit like that.
Yes. This is yes.
Now even holding back laughter was painful. I felt like I was going to burst out laughing right there. No, shouldn't I laugh? This is a world separate from the human world. And so I am alone. Isn't this world mine alone? And so I didn't hold back. My laughter cut through the Oh, that's not the laugh sound effect, it's the wind. My laughter cut through the silence, and once again I exposed my existence that was more than human. It was the greatest feeling. Until now I had never laughed with such joy once in all my life. And after laughing to my heart's content, after I had laughed so much I was in pain from the lack of oxygen I needed to breathe, I set out to leave the bathroom stall. I went to unlatch the door. I went to unlatch the lock. At that moment, my finger that touched the lock repelled as if it had been struck by static electricity. No, that's not the right way to put it. It wasn't as if my finger had been hit by static electricity. It felt as if when touching it, it was better to say, I had been struck with static electricity. Mate, just get to the point. Because from the other side of the door, I heard the voice of the girl sobbing Mesomeso. Ooh, oh boy, here we go. All the hairs on my body stood on end, and I felt a huge presence pass through me from head to toe. And so I stopped breathing, as if I were checking if that Mesomeso were an auditory illusion. But if it was real, there was no need for that kind of confirmation, because there was only one entrance to the old school building, and after I entered, I quickly locked it. There's no way someone could come in here. There's no way there were any students hiding at this hour. And there's no way that someone is out there. Because basically hiding my breathing and checking was in itself confirmation that something was happening. But because I had to do that, does that mean that I clearly heard that Mesomeso just now? I have to calm down. Check my ears. Yeah, clean your ears out, mate. But that presence of that sobbing cry from the other side of the door, it won't go away. It won't leave. I'm just hearing things. It's a hallucination. I got too excited and went and heard something that isn't there. That's it. There has to be remnants of my humanity. This has to be those damn pangs of guilt. Surely, since I came back to the place where I murdered her, I must be feeling guilt from killing Marie. And I must be hallucinating Marie's ghost inside my mind. To be fair, that's a reasonable explanation.
I love how he's just like, oh shit, maybe it's the small elements of guilt I have in my fucking heart. Oh, what an asshole.
I'm still human after all. In other words, what's out there is my desire to blame myself, my good conscience. After all. Oh, here we go. You there. Please listen to my pitiful story. Ah! Now it wasn't a voice in my head or a hallucination. There were words that reached my ears. So he's going through the story of Mesomeso-san. Like what she does is knocks on the door and says, listen to my story.
Yes.
And if you answer, she'll kill you. That's how the story goes, right?
Yeah, and she doesn't just kill you, she eats you.
She eats you after killing you. No, she breaks all your bones and then kills you and eats you. Yeah.
Yeah, so she kills you that way. She doesn't kill you first. It is a painful death.
And that voice, it was none other than Marie's. Marie? Is that Marie?
Ooh.
Is that Marie?
Marie?
You know, he hasn't confirmed who it is, actually. Like, he should have just opened the door.
Are you kidding me? In the middle of the night?
I know.
I would never. I'd fucking shit myself, man.
Well, he should shit himself. At least he's in the toilet.
Yeah.
Meso. I don't understand how Meso is a sobbing sound, but, you know, onomatopoeia.
I'm trying to think, like, Meso.
Meso.
I can't see it.
I can understand a hiccup, though. Whoever it was only cried, and that voice, heaving with sobs, answered my question. But on that day, I surely killed Marie and tossed her corpse in a septic tank. There's no way Marie could be here. No way she could still be alive. Now Kanamori was in the strange world of the former school building in the depth of night. He unconsciously came to realize the logic of the spirit world. Because without being limited... Fuck me, the music scared me. Or lack of music scared me.
I know.
Because without being limited to the reasoning of the human world where something killed no longer exists, he understood that on the other side of the door, the dead Marie was there. He understood? In other words, dead Marie's ghost was out there. He understood the truth that cannot exist. That cannot exist. That crying voice from the other side of that door. No, while Marie's ghost continued its pitiful cries, she began to condemn him with the words. You forced me to do horrible things, and then you killed me in the end. That was the cruelest of all. Yeah.
Oh my god. I was getting, was it Maria vibes?
Maria, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, even the name is similar. Marie, Maria.
Yeah, I know, mate. When you... your last video, I said, oh my god.
Killing you was the right thing to do. Are you stupid? That's the only thing I did. Think about it. If the police found out, it was the right thing to do. If I had let you live, you would have probably run to a police box with those legs of yours. Isn't that right? I wouldn't do something like that. After all, if I had talked, then Sensei would distribute that embarrassing videotape. Videotape, huh? What the fuck?
There wasn't one videotape, there was multiple, mate.
Did you really think something like that could be a threat to you? Ha! That's about how useful it was. See, but...
Wait, why is he using that logic?
The thing is, the videotape is more incriminating evidence against him. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, but why? It's interesting how she was saying this to him before he killed her.
She never made the connection. To her, to her, the videotape is embarrassing because it shows what happened to her. But to him, while it's something he did to have some sort of leverage on her, in itself, it's fucking evidence.
So he knew that, but he was still using it to threaten her. But then she said to him...
No, she never made the connection. Even now, she never made the connection.
She did. In the last video, she said, wouldn't you get caught in trouble as well then?
No, she never said that.
Mate, I watched your last video. I'm pretty sure she said that. Or
nah.
Like, she pointed that point out.
I'm fairly certain she never made that connection.
Oh, now I need to...
But I wanted to return to a normal life, because if you let me return to that normal life, I would keep what you did a secret, and I would have protected it. Oh, you could say anything with that mouth of yours, you see. You would have said that, and then that day after school you would have gone to the police. Isn't that right? And if you asked the police for help, you would have done as they said and settled things immediately. The only place where nothing changes when people ask for help are in TV dramas. But Sensei has the videotape. If I broke that promise, then Sensei would... Even as a ghost, you're so... pathetic, truly pathetic. Did you really think that kind of tape would compare to tipping off the police? The police aren't stupid, you know. Before I'd release that tape, they'd arrest me. I'd be arrested before I could edit myself out. Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, he's got an editing suite. Okay.
Man will just leave his dick in there and leave it as that. And they'd go in my house and seize the tapes, my equipment. Everything would be evidence. Fuck my throat. If you truly believe that tape was blackmail material even after your death, then I congratulate you. Yeah, I told you.
Loopy is saying he's so annoying.
He is. Even in death, you make me laugh. That's how stupid you were, even in your last days. It can't be. It can't be. Marie's sobbing was tinted with even more sorrow. I just feel really bad for her, man. Like, I don't think it was expressly stated, but it seems to me that she's a younger student.
I don't know how old she is, but it's bad, man. Like, she has totally been screwed over in life, not just in this instance with this teacher, but in everywhere else. And it's so hard. It was so hard to watch through the first thing when she's talking about her home life as well as her school life and stuff. It's just, and this dude is a fucking
dickhead,
grade A bastard. You know, I mean, he is a 1980s bad guy. Like, even worse though, because he's like genuinely horrible instead of cartoonishly horrible. Oof.
I don't know about you, but I do think he's a bit cartoonishly horrible. But
there's a cartoonish element to him and how he's like, but it's for genuinely horrific crimes instead of being a bad guy and wanting, I don't know. It's.
I think what I would say is that there are genuine motivations and rationale behind and underneath this sort of cartoonish exterior he's giving out.
Yeah.
That you believed it could be used against you. I delightfully congratulate you from the bottom of my heart. Maybe you read too much manga.
Asshole.
Oh, that's actually funny.
God, if this becomes like MGS2, where it's like a fucking, you know, like you're saying, it's like a thing on video game tropes and stuff like that. You're just like, what the fuck? Meta commentary.
And you went and absorbed such useless knowledge, and in your foolishness, you probably felt satisfied in the world you created. This is just projection now. If you even had one friend to ask for help, you would have probably realized such a stupid mistake right away. But your worthlessness complex prevented you from making any friends. Now we're getting into what I think you were trying to say. That her timidity was the cause of this.
And he was able to pick that out and like realize her character quite well to know that he could take advantage
of it. Yeah, but he's the one who's using it as an excuse. He used it to justify his treatment of her.
Well, he's gone with this animal jungle bullshit where it's like, I am more powerful, you were weaker, and that's just the way the life is, and I have a right to do what I did.
If I didn't do it, someone else would have, is what he said.
Yep.
Here we are. This world, you see, is society. My God, I can't wait.
He says it.
Society is made up of relationships from person to person. And you, being denied those relationships and being left out, truly became the leftovers of society. And because of that, you truly believed that worthless tape could have been used as blackmail material. How sad. As your homeroom teacher, I feel for you from the bottom of my heart. When I met with you and your parents and even advised you to make friends, you had nothing but excuses. To think I thought you realized it on the brink of death. Even after death, you still don't get it, do you?
I don't get why he's like being such a dick with her at this point. I don't know. It just feels like he's like grinding her down.
So there's a saying. Everything is about sex, except sex. Sex is about power. In this, he had power over her. And, you know, even now, she's trying to combat against him. And he's showing that, no, I'm the powerful one, know your place.
I just like how he very quickly recovered, even though he suspects that she's a ghost.
No, like, yeah. That's actually the really funny part. Like, a ghost's haunting him. And he's like,
and he's
no,
just like,
fuck you, society, bitch.
We live in a society. Oh, we don't live in a society. You're dead. My bad.
I feel really bad for her. Let's get. Are you saying I was stupid? Oh, I see. Then I give you the words straight from my mouth. You're an idiot. A blithering idiot. Suddenly British.
I
A
know.
blithering idiot. Even though you're a child, you pretend to... My fucking throat, man. Even though you're a child, you pretend to take a philosophical view on life, and you've turned your status as a dropout in society into a virtue. And you felt it was too much trouble to even ask for help with your sorrows, and dropped out of society. You've fallen out of the very bottom of the pyramid of human society. That can't be. Those terrible things I made you experience? That's right. That was my private lesson, you see. When confronted with a problem that can't be solved by yourself, what do? That's right, the answer was to ask someone for help. If you had asked your friends or your family, you might have had a chance at getting the right answer. But you didn't make friends. You didn't even open up to your family. Regardless of the instruction I gave you. Oh, he's calling it instruction now, is he?
This is giving me fucking Umineko, Beatrice, and also the some of the witches that helped out.
Yeah.
Or were fighting against Balor, like the exact same dynamic here.
Yeah, that's what they do. They just rant and laugh about it. They're just like, battler! And, you know, just...
Battler!
Beatrice!
Beatrice!
Oh, Umineko is great. I will play that once again at some point. It's fucking long, though.
I know.
And class time just ran out, you see. It's not like time has run out. I didn't ask for help, but even though I didn't make friends, and I might have been wrong in not asking for help, but I fought against you. As I commanded, you became like a cat or like a dog. You threw away your human dignity, and I will admit you did struggle somewhat. But that sort of thing has no value whatsoever. This resulted in that. For fuck's sake. This resulted in that. What a shit sentence. You drove your opponent into a frenzy, and then you were really strangled to death, and your body was even thrown into a cesspool.
Fuck this guy, man. Honestly, fuck this guy.
Aside from those clumsy results, how would you like me to evaluate you? I can only say you're an idiot. No points. You get a 0. That's what they call reckless courage, you see. Rather than that kind of courage, you should have had the courage to call the police. And you didn't even do that. What you are now is the result of that. And what part of that are you saying I should praise? They say that the only thing that can cure stupidity is death. But apparently they're wrong. It seems even in death, stupidity can't be cured would make more sense. Even Marie's soul after death was humiliated. Who decided departed souls were stronger than the living? Do you know what? That's a good point.
That is a good question.
Like-
Lupi has said, well, Garlic Bread has said we live in a society.
Yes, we
'cause he
do.
said that. And Lupi was saying Umineko witches were more bearable though compared to this guy, and they weren't.
They were batshit insane, but they were
But
funny.
they were not horrible fucking
They were horrible. But there's a difference when we've got witches who are killing people and this guy who's enjoying absolute violation.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that as a ghost, Marie's still as strong as she was as a person, which is to say, not very strong at all. Who decided departed souls were stronger than the living? There is no such rule. At the moment of death, at the moment one leaves life behind, their existence is inferior. The slight hope Marie held, that illusion that if she stopped being human, she could gain the strength to have her revenge after death, began to crumble. Because Marie understood now, this had nothing to do with whether or not she could become Mesomeso-san. Her power to avenge herself. No, the power to fight. It was the power to understand something, to do something. As much as she believed that if she became something other than human, she could have her revenge on the one responsible. In that kind of position, there was no power she could fight with at all. The ones with the power to fight are among humans. No, to fight is to live. When she gave up living. She had lost forever. Because she had already died, regardless if Marie understood what it meant to truly fight, what it meant to truly have courage. She was above the requirements to fight in that arena. The requirement to fight, that was to be alive. A homeroom teacher might have snatched her life from her, but listening to Higanbana offer to turn her into a yōkai, that if she became a yōkai she could rejoice in revenge. In the end, it was truly pointless and foolhardy. And at the very least, if she had the courage to ask someone for help, she would surely still be alive. Still alive, fighting, perhaps even winning, that might have been her way out of this fate. She gave it up, and so her fate resides eternally within this man, without anywhere to run. This way, even after death, she would eternally continue being shamed. Man, I'm wondering if Higanbana's gonna show up now. Marie's voice no longer came in sobs. They could only be described as wails. They weren't offensive as if to curse him either. Fixed with the fate of eternal shame, without fighting it, she could only cry in subjugation, with her lowly self. It wasn't that Marie thought her existence until now was sad, or even had regret. The thought kept crossing her mind that if she could go back to that day, she wouldn't have been violated like this. She became a victim, lost her courage, and will to fight. She could no longer muster any strength. Nonetheless, she had left her will to live behind, and she came to believe in the daydream of achieving her revenge by relying on others. Does that kind of person even have the right to live? Death was expected. She didn't have any right to live, and so being killed was the obvious result. In other words, it was inevitable. Well, oh boy. So you finally realized what kind of horrible existence you have, I see. I'm glad I gave you these supplementary lessons. Finally, those lessons were even able to teach you something. I can tell from your cries of regret. So perhaps we should end our class session. Kanamori reached out for the lock to the stall door that trapped him within. When he touched the lock, there was a tap sound, and that greatly terrified Marie. What are you doing? I'm ending class. Haven't you learned the importance of life just now? If so, then you should start over in your next life. Know what I mean? Eh? What do you mean? The door unlocked with a crack. When she heard that sound, Marie let loose a short scream. The lock was gone. If Kanamori opened that door, he would expose the Marie that was out there to his own eyes. For Marie, the terrifying man who killed her would once again appear before her. For Marie, the living Kanamori that lay beyond that door was still terrifying. Even up until now, she never even had the courage to look him in the eyes. But Kanamori already had the courage to look directly at dead Marie's ghost. After all, those fearsome spirits have already been wiped away from the world of human reason. Kanamori knew. On the divide before one is robbed of life and after death, the souls of the dead can only stand in afterlife. A miserable life will lead to a miserable afterlife. Even though she had died, Marie was still Marie. Alive or dead, she realized it didn't matter which side of the divide she was on. But Marie realized that all too late. Because reduced to a lowly spirit, now here she was. Well, since you can't rest in peace, it's time you showed me your wretched form. No? Don't open it. It's useless, you see. With the cruelty of an executioner dropping the bladed edge of a guillotine. It's guillotine or guillotine?
I say guillotine.
Guillotine. Kanamori threw open the door. This feels really bad. It was a bizarre scene. Even though he had opened the door from inside the stall, he was still there, in that stall.
It opened to another toilet.
Mate, this is the worst afterlife. Stuck in a shitty toilet. And it's a squat toilet as well.
It's like eternal toilets.
No! There's shit everywhere. It's like that airport. I won't name which airport it was, but I remember I went to an airport once when I was younger. Went into the toilet and there was literally shit everywhere. Ceiling, walls, floor. I'm like, fuck this! And I ran. Like, it was horrible.
you, you have to think, how does someone manage that?
Mate, it was. I can only think it was a crazy person who had like.
Had to be done on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. That ain't no shit, but fucking bomb.
Yeah. But Marie's figure was there, with the same appearance as the day he killed her. Ah, so you don't really turn into a wretch. You're just yourself, with the same right sleeve missing a button. No, it's not.
What? Still got the button.
Yeah, maybe it's one of the other sides. With a wound left on her throat from where he strangled her to death. Ooh.
Oh, they're just not drawn jack shit.
Yeah. Ah! Maria uttered a frightened squeal and backed off, but it was already a small stall as it was. With no place to run to, her back was quickly up against the wall. She began to tremble, and as she quivered in fear of Kanamori, her eyes pleaded that he not come any closer. What's he gonna do? He can't kill you again, can he?
I just want to say that it's almost gaslighting in a sense that he
Almost.
has. I mean, and I love how he's just like, you know, you took this on yourself. This is your fault, even though he was the one that literally killed her. And then he frames the way he's just framing everything, and it's like, it's your fault. I wouldn't have done this if you. And I'm just like, fuck you, mate.
Not only were you shit in life, you're shit in death. You're a crap ghost. Fuck off. That's basically his argument.
Smug motherfucking smile as well.
Yeah.
Also, Loopy said about the Mineko witches, they weren't depraved shit witches, which is true. I don't think the only one I would say is depraved was Erica.
Erica wasn't a witch. She was like a
honorary witch for a while.
She wasn't really a witch. She was a player.
The detective one.
Yes.
Yeah, but she got witch powers at one point. I don't know. Anyway, she was she was a bit depraved. She went a bit mental, but yes.
Oh, are you thinking about the marriage stuff?
Oh, yeah,
right.
Man.
Okay, I see what you're thinking about. Truly, anyway. You are a helpless dunce. There is no test worthy of a student as bad as you. In your next life, be sure to think about what I taught you. I'll be praying that you get a more worthwhile existence.
Oh, fuck this guy.
What do you tend to do, Sensei? Since you appeared before me like this, it seems to me that you haven't fully realized that you've been killed. I'm saying that in order for you to fix things in your new life, Sensei is going to once again strangle you to death.
How do you strangle a ghost?
I've just said that. I'm like, he can't kill you again. Surely not.
No.
No! That state of panic spilled over from when Marie was alive. The pain she felt when pinned to that wall of death was something only the dead could understand. That fear in knowing she would feel it once again could only be imagined from the beyond bizarre expression left on her face. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be killed. If you don't want to, then what will you do? You should ask for help, but there is no one here to help you. You're all alone here, you see. So, what will you do? You'll change the background music, that's what you'll do. Ah!
Warm music.
As Marie cried and screamed, she grabbed Kanamori. As Kanamori's throat was gripped by both her thin arms, Kanamori's hands also grabbed hold of Marie's throat. Yes, fighting now is correct. Even if it's just for this moment, it's... Oh no, this is fucking Higanbana talking. Yes, fighting now is correct. Even if it's just for this moment, it's right, you see. Fuck, man! I'm gonna get like Jacrona's scoreboard off when fucking Rikishi does his bullshit.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
But in your incompetence, you have no chance to defeat me alone. Perhaps I should end your demonstration. Even in death, you see, you're a fool. Even as they both gripped each other's throats, the difference in power was clear. Against Kanamori's grip that squeezed her like a vice, Marie's strength started to fade. Before she knew it, her arms no longer sought to choke Kanamori's throat, but instead changed to feebly resist the force of Kanamori's arms. How many challenges are there in this world that you can't win alone? In order to surmount them, people borrow power from society. In your final days, you ignored that, and you've come once again to repeat that mistake. If you can't rest in peace, then feel free to visit me as many times as you like, over and over again, I'll make you remember the pain of death.
This guy
Dear.
is so fucking up his own ass, man.
I'll strangle you to death forever and ever. In Marie's mind, the fear and pain from when she was driven to the border between life and death returned. And with her dead body, she moaned with the pain of her neck being crushed. Now you will die again, Marie Moria. Yeah, I love that. That's a fucking Ryukishi moment, right there. You know, in Umineko.
Yes.
Damn, Marie. It was something he hadn't felt with his hands when he had strangled Marie to death before. Hang on a second. Loopy's asking, is it a Japanese thing that ghosts can be touched and have physical bodies of some sort? No, I don't believe it is. At that moment, Marie's body jerked and shuddered, and she stopped moving, her neck slanted diagonally. Well done. You've murdered the same person twice. I don't think anyone else in history has accomplished that. So, yeah, stand proud in the society you seem to really enjoy.
Stand proud, you are an ultimate bastard.
Without loosening his grip, he continued to strangle her as he laughed like the devil. At that moment, a voice that couldn't have been there came in an echo. Game set, I see. As for which of you is more suitable to be Mesomeso-san, clearly it's been decided. Lippy says, I have seen so many anime where ghosts have bodies that can be touched, but spirits have transparent bodies that you can't touch. What do you mean by spirit and ghost?
I think there is like some sort of weird
I'm not going to think about it. I'm just moving on.
Oh no, a random doll.
Hello, Higanbana. Looking up at who the voice belonged to. Above the railing between the bathroom stalls, looking down on him, sat that Western doll he had seen in the infirmary. For Kanamori, who could now understand the existence of non-humans, this sort of thing didn't seem eerie. He thought she was surely a witness to his formal duel with Marie. And so he grinned and said, yes, I suppose. This is game set. For a vessel like Moria-san's to become Mesomeso-san, it would be better if she never attained a post as one of the yōkai eternally passed down in this school. I see. Allowing her the lowest seat among the school yōkai is far too inappropriate. I think someone like yourself, in your wickedness, better fulfills the role, you see. If it's someone like you, even among the school yōkai, you'll splendidly fill and protect that seat. If a human like yourself joins us in the lowest rank, even I'll have to be careful. I see. So this is a test that you school demons have made to decide who is more suitable to become Mesomeso-san. How cliché! That's right. We've voted, but there are 3 votes for Marie and 3 votes have been cast for you.
Ooh.
Who voted for Marie, apart from you?
I think she's not voted yet.
She'll be the tiebreaker, won't she?
Yeah, because there's 7 of them.
She said that she would support Marie. If she changes her mind now, she's a bastard.
I think she might, though.
I abstained and made a different proposal. That the 2 parties themselves should fight out their differences, you see. Why did you think that was a good idea? Indeed. Basically,
it's fun.
Yeah. Basically, when you tossed your button in the infirmary, it was your invitation to this test. I see. But now it's been decided, right? That test about who will become Mesomeso-san. Yeah, the decision has been made. I'm so very sorry that we cannot welcome a wicked human like you.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Fuck. At that moment, Kanamori felt a huge surge of power twist up his arms. In surprise, when he looked in front of him, Marie, whose eyes had already opened and rolled back in her head, sputtered drool and began to twist Kanamori's wrists with horrific power. Oh, okay. That thick sound could have been the sound of Kanamori's wrists snapping, or perhaps the sound of the back of his hands being crushed. Let go! With a giggle, Higanbana responded. Sorry, because I don't often get to meet such a wicked man like yourself. I'm truly sorry I couldn't welcome you to our class. What I wanted to test wasn't, you see, who was more vile or who was more suitable yokai. It was who was more suitable to be Mesomeso-san, you see? I see.
Yeah, I thought it might be this, and it makes more sense that the girl that keeps fucking getting her ass beaten would be the
ghost who keeps crying in the
Mesomeso.
toilet.
Yeah. Wait, isn't that was in Harry Potter?
That was in Harry Potter, yeah.
Yeah.
Moaning Myrtle, the girl who was crying in the toilet because she was killed there. Fucking hell!
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities
There's
there.
a few stories, and I'm wondering if there's a general story that was taken from.
I wonder now as well. Kanamori, even though you said you wanted to become Mesomeso-san, did you forget the Mesomeso-san rules? Mesomeso rules? Now both Marie's arms crushed the bones in Kanamori's hands, but they sought to wholly embrace them. But that embrace wasn't one of love. It was a malicious embrace of death that sought to crush every bone in his body. Yeah, that's the rules, isn't it?
Yeah, told you. He answered the call. He answered the door, didn't he?
Let go. Let go. Kanamori gave a scream as he cried while his ribs cracked. As if delighted from hearing the sound, Higanbana continued. That's right. The rules of Mesomeso-san. That if you meet Mesomeso-san, you must not speak with it. You must not see its true form, and you broke those rules. Therefore, Marie wins. Fuck! More and more, the sound of 1, 2 small bones breaking in Kanamori's body began to leak out.
Ew.
Marie, do it. As Higanbana giggled, she pressured Marie to deliver the finishing blow. But Marie let the strength of one arm go, and her expression wasn't the terrifying visage with her eyes rolled back in her head, but it was Marie's usual expression. Thank you, Thank you, Sensei. What Sensei said was very filthy and painful. But I think it's as you say. If I hadn't learned it from Sensei, I might not have understood my sin even in death. I'm grateful that you were able to teach me like this even after death. Marie!
She referred to it as a sin.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you, Sensei. From the very beginning when you protected me from those bullies, I loved you. Damn it.
Oh.
Forgive me, Yeah, that was a strange noise, alright. And then came a strange noise. Compared to the earlier sounds, they were like someone crumbling up a newspaper and violently tossing it in a garbage can. A crumpling noise. But this sound wasn't light like paper, and just listening to it was sickening, a repulsive sound. That was the sound of every bone in Kanamori's body beginning to be crushed to bits. Oh, it's the teeth
screen.
graphic.
Yeah.
There was no longer a painful voice leaking out. His mouth overflowed with streams of blood. And the sound that could be heard gushing from there may have been Kanamori's dying agony that had been denied even being put into words. Or it could have been the heaving sound of everything from his lower intestines to all of his organs being squeezed out of him. One couldn't tell which.
Yes.
And then came the sound of the largest bones in his body folding with a crack. Then all that could be heard was the cries of insects in the night. And then the two school yōkai were alone. Farewell, Sensei.
I'm just waiting for the witch's laugh.
Oh, that's not in this.
I know, but like literally that's all that's missing.
Congratulations, Mesomeso-san, Marie. You have been chosen. Can you hear everyone's applause? Congratulations. No? Even though everyone should reveal themselves, they feel too important. Fuck you, pricks. They're all nothing but shy individuals, you see. If you don't attain a bit more power, then it might be difficult for you to perceive them. Do you think the school yokai and I can get along? Who knows? Maybe it'll be difficult. You couldn't even make human friends. Could you make
Ouch.
friends with non-humans, I wonder? I'll give it my all, because if I can't relive my life, then at the very least I want to correct my past mistakes in this new one. Marie's expression overflowed with more determination than any other face she had shown until today. There are a lot of dead and depraved children, but a dead and determined child, now that's unusual. Of course, Marie, you're an interesting girl. No, a weird girl. Higanbana jumped over the railing, and then she took the shape of a human like the day they met at the library room. Wait, we've been seeing a sprite, but she was in the doll form the whole time.
Yep, apparently so.
They should have a doll sprite.
I know. I don't know why they don't, but...
Budget. Everyone is going to want you to introduce yourself pretty soon. Also, I should probably direct you to our class. And by class, could that be classroom B? On the name tag on Higanbana's chest. That over there. The school year was blank, but the class name, B, was written there. That name tag had once seemed blotted out by the rain. How was it now that she could read it so clearly? Classroom B. You're wrong. It's classroom 13.
What the fuck? What's the point of the fucking B name tag?
There.
Oh.
As in, like, this dirt that makes it look like a B.
Like a B. Oh, for fuck's sake.
The numbers have gotten dirty. Sorry about that. I don't think someone like you would get covered in dirt.
Yeah, that's bullshit. She's kept, like, they talk about she keeps herself
Pristine,
perfect.
yeah. Classroom 13. That kind of class doesn't exist anywhere in this school. And yet, there was no doubt that classroom was in this school. Come, Mesomeso-san Marie. Take the hand of the doll that dances Higanbana. Higanbana slowly reached out her hand. After hesitating ever so slightly, Marie took her hand. It wasn't because she was scared. The job of a school yōkai is tough, you know. We must surround ourselves in ill omens and wickedness as we dye the dark of night even darker. Yes. And if the night was truly dark, only then will daylight brightly shine upon the school. If one wicked teacher is swallowed up by the dark night, then in the day the school will become a better place, won't it? But congratulations. This was your first victory, right? You really strived for it, so be sure to keep a count, alright? Count? Count what? The number of people you've cursed to death. This was your first, you see. No, I don't want to count something like that. Well, that might be why you're interesting, Marie. But with that kind of faint-heartedness, maybe you'll even be bullied in our class. Brilliant. If I'm bullied, then I'll ask my friends for help.
What friends?
Friends? Like who? Would Higanbana-san please, well, become my friend? This doll that dances Higanbana, become your friend? Now you know she sounds like the witches.
Yeah.
But I think you should wait a little longer when it comes to choosing your friends. For a while, Higanbana, even though this was no laughing matter, split her sides with laughter. And when she was finally finished, she shrugged her shoulders. Oh, wow. Okay. If Marie is fine with that, then it's fine. If it was someone who knew the real me, then I wouldn't take up such a reckless proposal. Perhaps ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, it's just his.
Higanbana-san, you might seem cold-hearted, but, well, I think you're a good person. Really? Yes. Does that bother you? Thanks. Eh? Higanbana let go of Marie's hand and walked down the hallway alone. It's this way. Do you see? The hallway extends. It won't come out for humans and they can't see it. Do you see it? Yes, I can see it. The impossible hallway extended far away into the darkness. When she was human, there would have been a wall there, but now the hallway stretched far into the distance. Then come. Following after Higanbana, Marie entered the darkness. We're not going to see her, are we?
Or it's going to be a bad ending. I got a feeling it's going to be a bad end.
What do you mean?
Oh. So, no, maybe I was wrong, but do you know how in Umineko, it's like, oh, this person is kind of helpful, and then it's like, no, they're horrible assholes. I felt like that kept on happening a lot.
It does feel like that on this as well. At the end of the day, no one had seen Kanamori. Of course, neither had they seen Morimoria. But the one called the Master of the Infirmary, the Western doll called Higanbana, was even now sitting atop the medicine cabinets. There was a rumor that inside the bathroom of the former school building lived a yōkai. It was said each night one could hear the accursed screams of the pitiful teacher who had been strangled to death. In accordance with the recent school reorganization, when the school became a mammoth school, bursting with pride at the number of students it contained. The term mammoth school confuses me.
But also, yes, it's about the number of students, not the quality of the education. Okay.
Yeah. So too then came the strange school tale about the 7 mysteries adding one more to their number. And that was the story of Mesomeso-san, I believe. Chapter 1.
Did you like it?
I did like it, yes.
What's the web? Is the website just a link to the actual website?
Probably. Hang on. Wait, hang on. Oh, there. Yes, I have a chapter 2.
Oh, look at that. You have another candle flame thing. Look at that.
Okay, so chapter 1 was Mesomeso-san. We finished that story. Chapter 2
So
is the spirit camera.
Is there 3 in total?
There's 8.
Oh.
Or 7, I think.
Ooh, that was... How long was this one? This was quite long.
It wasn't that long. Like this, I've heard that Higanbana in its totality is as long as maybe one chapter of Umineko.
Mate, was one chapter of Umineko that long?
Don't you remember? It was like 15 or 20 hours.
Fuck, it's been so long since I played it. Watched it.
The whole thing was... I don't even know how long it was.
It was 80 hours for the first 4 parts and 80 hours for the last, and it was so 160.
160 hours. Like,
yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like that. Like I said, how did I spend that much time?
You know, for context, do you remember how much time we spent playing Elden Ring?
Yes.
The total gameplay was something about 70 hours.
I genuinely don't know.
Umineko is long, man. Nightmarishly long.
Loopy saying that ending felt a bit normal for how weird the rest of it was. Yeah, it did. I was expecting that she'd be introduced to the other 7 yōkai and that they would like tear her apart or something.
I want to bring the opinion of Joe Chrono into this. He's read this and he said it doesn't match the quality of Umineko or Higurashi. So,
wait, where did you read that? Where did you see that?
It's in one of his... I heard about it from him, Joe Chrono. And it was in one of his Higurashi videos that he was talking about this.
Oh.
It might even have been in the Umineko playthrough. Garlic Bread X says, I need to read more visual novels. Let me give you a recommendation. These ones are very good, but they're also pretty long. So might I suggest just the first chapter of Higurashi?
I watched Higurashi's the anime.
Okay, Loopy says, I just checked VNDB and it says Umineko is 148 hours. You know, that sounds about right.
Yeah. It is well fucking long. I remember what I'd do is I'd have it on my laptop and I'd just like be in bed reading through it. Anytime I think I did, I would just like fucking, I was hooked on it, man. And the music for the later versions of Umineko, where it has like music and voice acting and stuff, I think I had the PS3.
So if you get the PS3 patch of Umineko, it has animated rain, which I found to be excellent because I played the first couple of chapters without that, and then when the animated rain, even though it's less thick, it just looks good because it's animated. Voice acting, the adventure box, and a different translation as well, actually.
Also newer sprites, which is the one that I used. I didn't use the original sprites.
Newer sprites, and there's 3 sets of sprites. There's the original PC sprites, which look manky like this, but there's a charm to them. There's the manga game sprites, which are the ones in the Steam version of the game, which are fucking terrible. And then there's the PS3 sprites, which are the ones you should use.
So that's the beat. Whenever I think of Beatrice and all the characters, it's the PS3 sprites because that's the ones that I used with the Japanese voice acting. Battle. Oh, I can't do that.
And voice acting.
Battle.
Voice acting. The default version of the game doesn't have any voice acting.
Yeah, so
that's actually patched in from the PS3 version.
Yeah, like and the music is fucking banging, man. Oh my god.
You know, I'm really taken with the music of this game. That fucking theme with the bells was crazy.
Ooh, it was eerie as fuck, man.
And the theme which I consider to be Marie's theme, the one which I shared in WhatsApp before. That one was stuck in my head after I played the first time I played this. Especially since I played it in the fucking dead of night.
I don't know what it is, but like definitely, I don't know much about the Higurashi visual novel because I've played part 1, but I can't remember much of it. It's a while ago. But definitely Umineko in this, like the music is fucking on point, man.
The music in Higurashi isn't as on point, but there are certain pieces which are really good, and I think the writing is very good.
Umineko goes fucking next level. I think the music really it cements a lot of key things that happen. It really it's chef's kiss, man. I was listening to the music to that. I still listen to it to this day, and it was years and years ago. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, what, 4 years ago or something that I read Umineko. Not that long ago.
I started it when the. Pardon me. I started Umineko when that Higurashi series started. The new one. First season of it. So you can accurately.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Which was right about the time when lockdown started as well, actually, now that I think about it.
How long did it take for you to complete?
I think it was a month or 2.
A month? Mate, you must have fucking
blitzed it.
Rawled through that.
Yeah, what I was doing was, the way I played it was, I used my tablet in bed to mirror my screen from the computer.
Yep. That's the only problem with Umineko is that you need... Luckily, I had a laptop, right? But you can't just put it on your phone or anything. It's not available on Android easily.
There's a VN emulator for Android which plays it or something.
With the PS3 sprites?
I've not tried it.
Damn. Either way, it's the shit. And if you do happen to read through Umineko or Higurashi or whatever, Joe Chrono, there's a channel called Joe Chrono. Oh my god.
Joe Chrono on YouTube. Yeah, actually, do you know what? I consider him an inspiration for the way we're doing this because they basically did this where they read visual novels and put their own manky voices over it.
So they don't. So it's him and his friend.
Mates,
they don't do it anymore. I think they did feel bad because they were going through a whole visual novel and effectively just kind of like showing what it is, so you don't.
Let me see. I haven't.
So you're less likely.
They're still putting stuff
nowadays.
Up. They're still putting stuff up as books.
It's reviews. So what they do, they have like there's like a radio channel or something. So I think they're based in Australia, and he runs a radio station or something and does shows for that. But him and his friend are big what do you call it, mystery novel fans, right? Which is why they played through Umineko, because it's like a mystery detective thing, right? At the heart of it. And they read a lot of mystery and detective like novels, and so that's what they do. They kind of review and talk about that stuff, that literary stuff. And how Joe Chrono started playing Umineko was his mate had played the game, and he had recommended it to Joe Chrono, and so they played through it like that. Where the friend, I can't remember his name, and I apologize for forgetting his name because like his voice acting was hilarious and awesome, for the playthrough. But like he knew it would happen, and he'd try and keep as much to himself as possible. and Joe Chrono would just be going through this like blind, and mate, that guy solved the central premise of the game,
Central
right? There's a
mystery.
central mystery, right? After like part 2 or part 3 of the
It
8
was
part
part
series.
3. It was part 3. But he did have a bit of outside help. So
Yes. I mean, there's that, but mate, I didn't even think it was the fucking solvable thing that you. Oh my god, I was blown away because when I watched that series, that YouTube series, I had already played the game, read the game, right? And so going through it again with Joe Chrono and his friend was it was amazing because they were talking about it.
yeah.
Like I'd just gone through it on my own, and then just watching a couple of people who are like mystery novel fans and very like really good at trying to figure things out talk about this and discuss it, and doing funny voice acting and playing with the original sprites as well, which was a bit different, which was different from what I did. It was something else, and it was something special. In a way that I've told you before, I don't like rewatching stuff and redoing stuff. Once I've
I
watched
still
a
don't
movie or played a
understand
game,
that, yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, yeah, but like I don't like doing that. But this was different. This was amazing, and I recommend reading Umineko and or Higurashi, right? But if you're doing that, once you've done one part of either Higurashi or Umineko, watch the video series with Joe Chrono. It's, I think it's awesome. It's fucking, they were hilarious, man. Really, that massively inspired me. He streamed, he live streamed randomly where he was just playing a game. He doesn't usually do that. And I was just like, I happened to see that he was online, and I actually chatted, and I said, "Look, I got," I was like being a massive fanboy, man. I was just like, "Mate, I started my channel because of you," and he's like, "Oh, that's cool," and I was like, "Yeah." Joe Chrono read my message. So it was, I don't, yeah. So a lot of inspiration for
Yeah.
what I do has came from that, yeah. And as you said, what we do,
What we've been doing here.
yeah.
Actually, I was just reminded that before we even started this tonight, before Sonic and all that, my brother and I were watching the new movie which came on Netflix, Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. You haven't seen Knives Out, have you?
No.
So you haven't seen Glass Onion either. But basically, they're very old school type mysteries, but in a contemporary setting with Daniel Craig as the detective. And we really like that movie series. I can call it a movie series now. There's 2 of them, and they're just really good. Good central mysteries, and it's solvable. We both tried to solve it before the reveal of whatever happened in the movie. And yeah, I mean, like, we fucking applying the logic and all the stuff that you figure out while going through Umineko. We applied that to Knives Out and actually determined not only the culprit but the murder method as well. In that,
Mate,
it was sick. We had so much fun.
That kind of put me off watching it, not because it puts I think it's bad, but because I know that I'll never fucking get. I wouldn't be able to figure it out.
Don't worry
I'm
about
terrible.
that. It's also just fun to watch.
I need to. The problem with Knives Out is it came out on Amazon Prime or something.
It's
It
on
came out on
Netflix now.
something.
They're both on Netflix right now.
Are they both on Netflix? Oh, because that was the issue. I was like, oh, I'll watch this, and then
It was on Amazon Prime, yeah.
It was a few months back. It wasn't on that anymore, or you had to pay for it. It wasn't free
Not
anymore.
even that. Just a few days ago, we wanted to watch it. Like, we wanted to rewatch Knives Out. Check in Netflix. It's not fucking there. And we're like, fuck it. But then today, the day its sequel comes out, the original is up as well.
Oh, beautiful. I will. Well, I've got no life, and
well, it's
not much
annoying
to do,
for
so
us
I'll give
because
it a
we're
watch.
like, we'd rather just watch the sequel than go through the original and then the sequel.
All right, Gamer Chester, how's it going?
Oh, hello there. Sorry. It'll be labeled as a Sonic stream, but we finished Sonic ages ago. And we finished Higanbana as well.
Well, we finished a part of Higanbana.
Yes. I'm not planning on continuing now. It's been 4.5 hours.
Are you planning to continue?
I am planning, and I haven't got a time yet, but I'm planning that one of these days, Christmas Day or Boxing Day, I'm going to do another stream.
Ooh, so wait, tomorrow? Wait, fuck.
No,
yeah,
tomorrow's Christmas Eve, man.
Today is Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Oh shit! It's already 2:30 in the
Yeah,
morning.
2 in the morning. Yeah.
All right, I didn't realize what time it was.
So
Yeah.
if you're doing that, that's cool. I might do something a bit earlier. I don't know. Because I have no life.
That's fair enough. I'm going to figure out what to do because I've run out of Umineko, and sorry, I've run out of Sonic. I've run out of 13 Sentinels.
Yep.
Yes, I finished 13 Sentinels, by the way. So that video series will continue being uploaded. I'll just have to figure. I mean, I've got this. I've got Higanbana, so I will probably do more recordings of this and put it up.
See you later, Loopy. Loopy saying bye. What does HF stand for?
Have fun. Later.
All right. See you later.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Yeah, it's well late for you. So yeah, Game and Chester. Hope you check out some of the stuff because we will be finishing very quickly. But yeah. Maybe we'll see you at Christmas or something. I don't know what we'll do yet. I haven't got any plans.
Need another obscure visual novel or adventure game like Mogeko Castle, which I really enjoyed.
Mogeko Castle was fun. I need to finish watching that. I saw some of it, not all of it.
I enjoyed it. That was good. That was a good suggestion. I appreciate it. Crack Dealer, who's not on just now, but that was a recommendation.
Yeah. Oh yes, Garlic Bread has said I recommend Witch House. Do you know Loopy recommended me Witch House as well?
Ooh.
And I've downloaded it from Game Pass because there's like a trailer of it. Not a trailer, like a game preview or something on there.
Oh, when did it come out?
I don't know. I can hear myself. I'm going to move my microphone away.
Witch House came out 2018. Ooh.
That's recent.
Is it The Witch's House?
I think that's the one.
No, this might be MV. Apparently there's an MV. I don't know what MV stands for.
That could be it.
It's got a cute girl character as the protagonist.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wait, is this your type of game?
No, I mean that that's what it is. Like from what I've seen.
Okay.
What I mean is you're looking at the correct game.
Well, you can save 50% off right now, apparently.
Oh, hang on a sec. Loopy says, which house is an RPG Maker game? Not what I told. I'm assuming that's what GB is talking about since they recommend RPG Maker games. No, Garlic Bread wasn't the one who recommended Mogeki Castle. That was Crack Dealer.
Yeah. I don't know. I need to find other games. I don't have any. Oh, I have one on my Steam. I can't remember what it's. Oh fuck! It's like Rogue. Fuck knows what it's called.
I've got too many games. That's the thing. I've got loads of games. I'm just glad that I finished 13 Sentinels.
Garlic Bread says I did mean the RPG Maker game. So yes,
okay,
Witch's House. The Witch's House MV seems to be the one.
Maybe you are the one high on drugs. Really?
Loopy's like, yay, I was right, woohoo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to. I might do a video ranting about my computer build, but I'll do that once
We didn't get a lot of that.
It done.
I mean, we did get an update from you about your computer build, but we didn't get the full rant, I think, and I would like for that.
Yeah, it will just be an unscripted me fucking rambling. I'll have to edit it. Of just me being pissed off. It's probably a lot of it's to do with my own stupidity, but probably make a good video. But I'll do that once if I can get it built and running, and I will record it on that computer actually, as a fuck you to the computer because it's running now, and I don't know.
Lippy says, "Don't worry, I'll laugh at you."
Yeah, I was talking to a friend, and they've got a water cooled setup with like custom looping and all that on their computer, which and they said to me that if they ever get another computer, they're just gonna get it like pre-built. It's too much of a hassle. And I can imagine, because if they upgraded the computer, they would have to like dismantle the water cooled custom looping and then put it back in, and it's an absolute pain in the arse. That's why I don't touch water cooling. I mean, you can get the all-in-one water cooling solutions, which are fine, but which is what I used my current PC. But I wouldn't want to see doing the custom stuff. It's just a fucking. You think it's bad enough the problems I'm having now? Add in water cooling and making sure pipes don't leak. I would fucking blow up my house, man. So yeah, like it was interesting because that was one of my friends who would always build their PC, and they'd build PCs for other people as well. So hearing that from them, I was like, yeah, I suppose as you get older and you have less free time to fuck about with things when it doesn't work, less tolerance for these things. And I've got my laptop to cover me if the PC fucks up. So I think if I didn't have that, if that was my main computer, I would have thrown it out the fucking window. So yeah, that'll come out sometime soon when I get it running and can put it together.
Yeah.
I like the dripping tap in the background.
It's actually starting to annoy me, like I'm waiting in a public toilet or something.
Mate, like I in the house, right? We had a dripping tap, and it was doing my absolute fucking nut in because it was the kitchen tap. I made it my goal to fucking fix the issue. It was like involved dismantling the tap and replacing a cartridge part or whatever. I was like, no, we are fixing this because no one else gave a shit. But I was like, no, this is absolutely doing my fucking nut in. I'm not accepting this. This has to get fixed, or we replace the tap. So
we replaced the tap when it was leaking over here, but yeah.
No, it was a cartridge in the tap because the tap itself was like not cheap. So I was like, we got the tap fitted not long ago. So I was like, what the fuck? But it was a part inside that you had to dismantle it, take it out, put in the new part, put it back together, and hope to God you didn't fuck it up. And I did, and it stopped leaking. And I'm like, why can't my PC build to be this easy? But anyway, yes, leaky taps. It kind of sounds good for eerie atmosphere, not good when it's actually in your house and you're sitting there hearing it all the time.
Oh well. Anyway, I've put the loading video back on because I think we're pretty much at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's after the morning, so I think this is probably the best time to cook myself a pizza.
Also, Merry Christmas Eve, or whatever. Happy Christmas Eve. I don't know what the fuck.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Hope you guys have fun. We will hopefully see you guys maybe another time. After Christmas or on Christmas or whenever. After you've enjoyed yourself. Whatever. Hey, Merry. I don't know, I'm not good at this sort of thing.
Don't worry, you can't fucking get rid of us.
We'll be around. We will be around.
Happy holidays, yes.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit tired. I just finished
It's okay. A new year is coming.
This video, put it up as the
Split.
Higanbana too.
Yes.
On that note, I think we will see you guys next time. Later, everyone.
Bye-bye.